Jack Harlan gripped the rusted iron gate, its hinges screeching like a warning as he pushed it open. Behind him, his cousin's laughter echoed across the overgrown lawn, sharp and unrelenting. "Look at this dump, Jack. You traded your SEAL glory for a pile of weeds?" sneered Marcus, the eldest, stepping out of his gleaming SUV with arms crossed. The mansion loomed ahead, its Victorian facade cracked and ivy-choked, windows like hollow eyes staring back. Jack, broad-shouldered at 42 with the unyielding gaze of a man who'd stared down storms in distant oceans, said nothing. He'd inherited this from Uncle Elias, the family black sheep who'd vanished decades ago. The lawyer's letter had been curt. The property was his alone, debts and all. His sister Lena piled out next, flipping her hair. "Seriously, bro? We drove 2 hours for this joke, sell it for scraps and buy a condo." The others, cousins, aunts, formed a semicircle, phones out, snapping pics for social mockery. Jack scanned the place methodically, muscle memory from ops kicking in. Assess threats, map terrain. If you're already on the edge of your seat, smash that subscribe button right now, like this video. Share it with a friend who loves a good twist and drop a comment below telling us where you're watching from today. They pushed inside through the splintered oak door, dust swirling in shafts of light. The foyer chandelier hung crooked, crystals dulled by time. "Ha! Even the ghosts left," quipped Aunt Rita, fanning herself with the estate pamphlet. Jack moved ahead, boots crunching on debris. He wasn't here for laughs. Elias had been a collector, whispers of hidden fortunes in family lore, but no one took it seriously. Up the grand staircase, banisters loose under his grip. The family trailed, jeers bouncing off faded wallpaper. "Jack's gonna flip burgers to fix this money pit," Marcus called. In the master suite, a massive four-poster bed sagged under moth-eaten linens. Jack knelt by the fireplace, jeers tracing soot-blackened stones. Something felt off, seams too precise. Lena snorted from the doorway. "What? Playing detective now? Your SEAL tricks won't pay the taxes." He ignored her, prying at a loose brick. It shifted with a low grind. Inside, a small metal box, tarnished but intact. He lifted it out, heart rate steady despite the pulse in his temples. The family crowded in, curiosity overriding mockery. Jack snapped the latch. Nested inside, a yellowed ledger, pages brittle, and a single gold coin, heavy, etched with an unfamiliar crest. "Old money," murmured Cousin Theo, leaning close. Jack flipped the ledger open. Entries in Elias's spidery script, dates from the 1920s, shipments logged in code, quantities, origins. "European antiquities," one line read. "Value undisclosed. Vault secure." His mind raced, piecing fragments. Elias hadn't vanished. He'd curated something vast. Downstairs they fanned out, half-hearted now. Jack headed to the library, shelves bowing under forgotten tomes. He pulled a volume on maritime history, Elias's passion. Tucked in the pages, a map fragment, inked lines marking tunnels beneath the estate. "Stay put," he told the others, voice low command. Marcus laughed again, but thinner. "Tunnels? This guy's lost it." Jack descended to the cellar alone, flashlight cutting through cobwebs. The air thickened, cool and earthen. Stone walls, alcoves empty save for rusted tools. At the far end, a sealed archway, mortar fresh compared to the rest. He wedged a crowbar, found propped nearby, and heaved, cracks spiderwebbed. The slab gave way. Beyond, stairs plunged into shadow. His beam caught glints. Metal crates, stacked high. He descended, each step measured. First crate pried open, porcelain figurines, delicate museum grade, labels in French. Second, silver ingots, stamped pre-war. Third, paintings, rolled tight, signatures faded but recognizable. Impressionists, perhaps stolen or squirreled away. Jack's breath caught. This wasn't junk. This was a fortune entombed. Back upstairs, the family waited in the parlor, tensions fraying. "De-gold yet, hero?" Rita jabbed. Jack set the ledger down. "Not gold. Better. Elias built a vault. Antiques, art, artifacts, millions, easy." Laughter died. Marcus snatched the ledger, eyes widening. "This can't be real." Lena paced. Taxes alone would bankrupt us. We should call experts. But greed flickered in their stares. Jack watched them, reading micro-expressions like enemy intel. He'd seen men crack under less. "It's mine," he said flatly. "By law." Theo smirked. "Family first, right? Share the wealth." Whispers spread. They thought him soft, post-military, ripe for pressure. Night fell as they argued. Jack slipped out to the grounds, phone to ear, contacting a discreet appraiser from his network. Old SEAL contacts with civilian reach. "Need eyes on a collection. Urgent." Dawn would bring verification, but shadows lengthened. Inside, raised voices. Marcus pounded the table. "He doesn't deserve it. Lived like a monk while we built lives." Lena nodded fiercely. "We'll contest the will, prove he's unfit." Jack paused at the window, silhouetted. They underestimated him still. The mansion held more secrets, and so did he. Discipline forged in hellholes didn't bend to family barbs. Next morning, the appraiser arrived incognito, a wiry man named Hale with a van marked Restoration Services. Family hovered as Hale inspected samples, the coin assayed at auction house rarity, figurines authenticated to royal provenance. "Conservative estimate," Hale murmured to Jack privately. 50 million here. But the vault could be double. Need full catalogue." Word spread fast. Marcus cornered Jack in the hall. "We're selling everything, equal shares." Jack met his gaze unblinking. "It's not a democracy." Tensions simmered through lunch, catered from town, a brief civility mask. Aunt Rita cornered Lena. "He's hiding something bigger. Did you see that map?" Afternoon brought drills. Jack organized the family into shifts, clearing debris, channeling his training. Grumbles turned to reluctant efficiency. Under floorboards in the attic, another D, jewelry caskets, gems winking like stars. By evening, Hale's full report landed via encrypted text. Collection valued at 200 million minimum. Black market origins on some pieces. Handle carefully. Jack gathered them in the dining hall, chandelier dusted for the occasion. "It's real. 200 million, but provenance issues. Sell wrong, we lose it all." Silence, then eruption. Marcus lunged forward. "You don't decide." Fists clenched, but Jack's stance shifted subtly. "Ready." Lena interjected. "We're family. Pool resources. Hire lawyers." Eyes darted, alliances forming. Jack leaned on the table. "Elias chose me. Earned it through years alone here." Flashback in his mind. Elias's letters, hints of peril, rivals circling his hoard. Night deepened. Jack patrolled the grounds, senses alert. Footsteps crunched. Marcus sneaking toward the vault entrance. Jack shadowed him silently. In the cellar, Marcus fiddled with crates, phone flashlight trembling. "Just looking," he muttered to himself. Jack stepped from shadow. "Touch it, and you're out." Marcus whirled. "This isn't fair. You waltz in, take everything." Venom twisted his face. Jack's voice stayed even. "Fairness died in my line of work. This is survival." Marcus backed away, but fury lingered. Upstairs, whispers plotted. Jack secured the vault with chains from the barn, mind-mapping contingencies. Dawn broke with Hale's team arriving discreetly. Family fractured, some eager for profit, others wary. Lena pulled Jack aside. "They're turning on you." Marcus called a lawyer. Jack nodded. Expected. His resolve hardened. The mansion wasn't just bricks, it was a fortress now. As cataloguing began, a deeper chamber revealed itself behind a false wall, crates of ancient coins, relics from forgotten empires. Hale whistled low. "This pushes it over the edge. 250, maybe more." The shock rippled. Laughter long gone, replaced by avarice and schemes. Jack stood amid the gleam, guardian of the unexpected empire. But as the family circled closer, he sensed the real battle brewing. Not with ghosts of the past, but the living wolves at his door. Subscribe now if this discovery has you gripped. Like and share to spread the tension. Comment your guess on what happens next. Jack Harlan gripped the rusted gate tighter, his knuckles whitening as the first truck rumbled up the overgrown drive. Headlights sliced through the dusk like accusatory jers, illuminating the sagging porch of the old Harlan estate. His cousins, slick realtors from the city, always sniffed for a quick flip, piled out, their laughter echoing off the ivy-choked walls. "Look at you, Navy boy," sneered Cousin Derek, the loudest of the pack, clapping Jack on the shoulder a bit too hard. "Playing handyman in this dump? Uncle Earl left you a money pit, not a fortune." Jack didn't flinch. Years in the SEALs had taught him to read threats before they spoke. These weren't family visits, they were reconnaissance. Derek's wife, Lila, circled the property with her phone out, snapping photos for some appraisal app. "We could turn this into condos," she mused, voice dripping calculation. "Prime land. You'd be smart to sell now before the roof caves in on whatever pipe dream you've got." He nodded politely, stepping aside as they barged through the gate. Inside the foyer, dust motes danced in their flashlight beams. The chandelier hung crooked, a relic from Grandfather Harlan's bootlegging days, whispers of hidden prohibition stashes that no one had ever found. Jack had dismissed those tales as folklore, but the family's sudden interest made him pause. They laughed harder at the peeling wallpaper, the warped floorboards, poking fun at his calloused hands from prying up floorboards himself. "SEAL training for termite patrol?" Derek guffawed, slapping his knee. If you're hooked on Jack's standoff with his scheming kin, hit that subscribe button like this video, share it with a friend who loves a good inheritance thriller, and drop a comment. From where are you watching this unfold? Jack let them prowl, his mind mapping their moves like an op in hostile territory. They didn't know about the anomaly he'd spotted that morning, a faint seam in the library wall behind a bookshelf heavy with forgotten ledgers. While they mocked from the parlor, he slipped away, muscles coiling with quiet precision. The house creaked in protest as he wedged a crowbar into the gap. Wood splintered softly. A panel gave way, revealing not rot, but a steel door, rusted but intact, with a combination lock that gleamed unnaturally. His pulse quickened, not from fear, but the electric pull of discovery. Back in the service, he'd cracked safes under fire. This was child's play. He traced the engravings, dates, initials, H.A. 1923, Harlan ancestors. Gers steady. He tested sequences from the ledgers he'd pored over nights ago. Click. The door swung inward on silent hinges, exhaling cool, stale air, thick with the scent of aged paper and metal. Flashlight beam cutting the void, Jack descended narrow stone steps into what the blueprints never mentioned. A basement vault, untouched for decades. Shelves lined the walls, stacked with crates sealed in wax. He pried one open. Inside gleamed rows of gold coins, stamped with eagles and liberties, pre-depression mints by the look. Not costume props. Real. Heavy. His breath caught as he lifted another lid. Bonds, bearer notes from defunct banks, bundled tight. And deeper still, canvas bags bulging with what felt like ingots. Upstairs voices grew louder, Derek bellowing about tax liens and forced sales. Jack sealed the crates, mind racing through valuations. Coins alone could fetch millions on the discreet markets he'd navigated post-service. But this? Conservatively, tens of millions. No, the full haul whispered 9 figures. He backed out, relocking the vault with a practiced twist, the door vanishing behind the shelf like it had never existed. Emerging into the parlor, he found the family mid-feast on his sparse pantry, crackers and canned soup raided without asking. Lila waved a deed printout. "We've got a buyer lined up. Corporate outfit. They'll pay enough for you to start over, soldier boy." Derek leaned in, eyes gleaming. "Sign tonight or we contest the will. Uncle Earl wasn't right in the head at—" Jack crossed his arms, the vault's weight settling in his core like ballast. "Appreciate the concern," he said evenly, "but I'm keeping it, fixing it up myself." Laughter erupted again, sharper now. "Delusional," Derek spat. "You'll bankrupt yourself. We're family. We're looking out for you." That night, after they left with veiled threats of lawyers, Jack worked alone under lantern light. He catalogued the vault methodically. 1920s gold certificates, unredeemed war bonds, even a crate of rare gems, uncut emeralds from some forgotten family venture in South America. Appraisals in his head tallied upward. 50 million, 80, cresting past 200 as he uncovered the crown jewel, a locked chest yielding stock certificates in blue-chip firms, predating splits that ballooned their value exponentially. Dawn broke with tires crunching gravel again. Not family this time. Two suited men from a firm called Apex Holdings, the corporate outfit Lila had mentioned. They knocked precisely at 6, clipboards ready. Mr. Harlan, we're authorized to make an offer on the property. Cash, no contingencies. Jack met them at the door, dirt-streaked from the night's labor. Heard about you. Pass. The lead suit adjusted his tie, unperturbed. 2 million. Al. A lowball to test waters. Jack's SEAL instincts flared. These weren't buyers. They were scouts for something bigger, tipped off by loose family lips. Appreciate it. Doors that way. They lingered, eyes scanning the house like appraisers at auction. You don't understand the asset you're sitting on, the second man pressed, voice smooth as oil. Certain parties have interest in the land's history. Jack's jaw tightened. History. The vault. Word was leaking faster than he thought. He ushered them out, but not before noting their plates, out-of-state tags, high-end rental. By noon, Derek called, feigning brotherly worry. Heard the suit stopped by. Smart money's on selling, Jack. What are you hiding in there anyway? Some war souvenirs? Jack hung up without a word, then methodically reinforced the perimeter, motion sensors from his service kit wired to his phone. The family escalated that afternoon. Lila emailed forged documents questioning his inheritance, CCing a probate judge. Cousins texted en masse, painting him as unstable, a vet unfit for decisions. Tension coiled tighter as Jack delved deeper into the vault's secrets. Amid the treasures, a leather journal great-grandfather Harlan's hand detailed how the fortune was squirreled away during the crash, laundered through shell companies. Maps marked extensions under the estate, hinting at more chambers. But warnings, too. Rivals who'd vanished pursuing the hoard departed under mysterious circumstances. Dusk fell with another intrusion. Headlights again, but these idled longer. Jack watched from the shadows as Derek and a burly associate crept from a van, tools glinting. Crowbars, flashlights. They jimmied the side door, whispers carrying, Lila said check the library first, kids clueless. Jack moved like smoke, intercepting them in the hallway. Derek froze, crowbar mid-swing. Jesus, Jack, we were just worried, checking for squatters. The associate shifted, bulky frame tensing. Jack's voice cut low, commanding. Out. Now. Or I make the call to the sheriff myself. Derek blustered but backed away, eyes darting to the library door. You're making a mistake. That fortune's ours by blood. As their taillights faded, Jack realized the wolves weren't just family. They were multiplying. Apex suits circling, probate threats looming, and whispers of the vault spreading like dry tinder. He needed allies, not saviors. A call to an old SEAL buddy, now a forensic accountant. Rico. Got a puzzle. Discrete valuations, ironclad provenance. Rico's response crackled. On it, but heads up, word's out on Harlan Gold. Feds might sniff too. Night deepened, the mansion groaning under wind gusts. Jack stood at the vault entrance, flashlight carving shadows. One more crate remained, padlocked heavier than the rest. He worked the combination from the journal, his birth date ironically. Inside, not gold but deeds. To vast acreage, oil rights in the Dakotas, mineral claims in Nevada, held in trust, values skyrocketing with recent booms. 200 million, crystallized, not myth, real, transferable, his. But dawn brought helicopters, news choppers drawn by leaks. Reporters swarmed the gate shouting questions. Mr. Harlan, is it true, hidden treasure? Family arrived in force, Derek grandstanding for cameras. My cousins in over his head. We need to protect the legacy. Jack faced them from the porch, stone-faced. The wolves howled louder now, but he held the den. Resolution wouldn't come easy. No white knights, just grit. He'd lawyer up quietly, auction pieces through shadows, rebuild brick by brick. Yet as the crowd pressed, a owl chopper descended. Not media, but black, unmarked. Apex's play? Or worse? Subscribe for the explosive ale where Jack turns the tables, like if his unbreakable resolve has you on edge. Share this twist with your crew and comment, would you fight family for 200 million? The rotor wash scattered leaves like fleeing secrets. Jack's hand rested on the concealed vault key, ready. The true battle was just igniting. The helicopter's blades thrashed the air, a mechanical heartbeat pounding against the overgrown estate. Jack Harlan stood unmoving on the mansion's crumbling portico, his jeers tight around the vault key hidden in his palm. Below, his cousin's SUV skidded to a halt, tires spitting gravel. They piled out. Mark, the loudmouth realtor, Lisa, the scheming accountant, and Uncle Ray, whose eyes gleamed with the hunger of a man who'd always envied others' scraps. "Jack, what the hell is this circus?" Mark bellowed, pointing at the chopper as it settled in the weed-choked courtyard. Two men in crisp suits emerged, briefcases in hand, appraisers from the national heritage firm Jack had quietly summoned. The family froze, their laughter from weeks ago echoing in Jack's mind like a distant taunt. They'd mocked him mercilessly when the will was read. A Navy SEAL squatting in a rat-infested pile. Lisa had sneered at the reading, her voice dripping disdain. Uncle Ray had chuckled, slapping the table. "Sell it for scrap, boy. You're no lord of the manor." They'd circled like vultures, pressuring him to sign over the deed for pennies, dreaming of flipping the land for condos. Jack had said nothing then, his SEAL training kicking in. Observe, assess, strike when ready. Now the air crackled. The lead appraiser, a sharp-eyed woman named Elena Vargas, approached with measured steps. "Mr. Harlan, we've reviewed your preliminary scans. The vault's contents, they're extraordinary." Mark shoved forward. "Vault? What vault? This place is a teardown." Jack's been spinning fairy tales. Jack's gaze locked on his cousin. Short breaths, controlled. "Open it yourselves, or watch." The family exchanged glances, unease rippling through them. Uncle Ray stepped up, feigning calm. "Nephew, let's talk family first. Whatever's down there, we split it fair. Blood's thicker, right?" Jack almost laughed. Blood. The same blood that ignored him after his service discharge, the injuries that left him with nightmares but no welcome home. He'd rebuilt silently, pouring savings into stabilizing the mansion's bones while they plotted behind his back. Forged documents, bribed surveyors. He'd found their emails in the estate lawyer's files. Elena cleared her throat. The readings suggest pre-Depression-era artifacts, gold certificates, rare bonds, potentially 200 million in today's value. Gasps sliced the tension. Lisa's hand flew to her mouth. Mark's face drained of color. Uncle Ray's smile twisted into something feral. 200 million? Mark whispered, then lunged toward the mansion's side entrance where Jack had reinforced the vault door days ago. "It's ours. Grandpa's will said the estate's for all heirs." Jack moved like shadow. One step blocked him. Two jers pressed Mark's chest, firm, unyielding. "Grandpa's will named me sole executor. You laughed. Remember? Called it a joke inheritance." The appraiser's team unpacked scanners, their hum cutting the standoff. The chopper's pilot idled the engine, a reminder of escape routes. Lisa circled to Jack's flank. "You're ex-military, tough guy, but we're family. Courts love family unity. Sign it over, or we'll tie this up for years." Jack's mind raced through scenarios, SEAL ops in shadowed compounds extracting intel under fire. This was no different. Psychological warfare. He slipped the key into the vault's ancient lock, the metal grinding like old bones. Click. The door creaked open, revealing stacks of sealed crates glinting faintly under dust-caked lanterns. Eleanor knelt, gloved hands tracing edges. Uncirculated Liberty Head coins, Civil War-era promissory notes, and these bearer bonds from the 1920s crash, untouched, verifiable lineage to the Harlan banking dynasty. The family pressed closer, greed etching their faces. Uncle Ray whispered urgently, "Jack, boy, we can partner. I'll handle the sales. You get your share, 20%. "Fair," Jack straightened. "Fair, you filed to contest the will last week. Had a buyer lined up for bulldozers." Mark's eyes widened. "How?" "Emails. Lawyer's server." Jack's voice stayed even. "You underestimated the ruins, and me." Tension coiled tighter. Lisa pulled out her phone, gers flying, probably alerting their crooked attorney. The appraiser stood. "Mr. Harlan, these items require federal authentication, but preliminarily? Life-changing. The chopper's rotors spun up again, scattering more leaves. Jack's cousins shifted, calculating. Fight here or drag it to court? Uncle Ray made his play. He grabbed a crate edge, yanking. Wood splintered. A cascade of yellowed certificates tumbled out, edges crisp as secrets unveiled. See? Ours! Jack's hand shot out. Not striking, but pinning Ray's wrist with precision force. Touch another, and security footage goes to the DA. Trespassing, theft intent. The old man snarled, wrenching free. You'd turn on kin for this? Not turning. Defending. Jack's eyes bored into them. Years of service had taught him loyalty's cost. Family? That was earned, not blood given. Grandpa saw your greed. Hid this for someone who'd protect it. Eleanor nodded to her team. We're sealing it now. Transport to the vault facility tomorrow. Mr. Harlan retains custody. Mark lunged again, wild. Jack sidestepped, seal reflexes turning it into a stumble. Lisa screamed, more shock than pain. Uncle Ray backed toward their SUV, face ashen. You'll regret this, Ray spat. We'll bury you in lawyers. Jack watched them retreat, engines roaring to life. Dust clouds swallowed their taillights. The mansion stood silent now, its secrets secured. Eleanor extended a hand. Impressive restraint, Mr. Harlan. Most would have cracked. He shook it. Training and clarity. Over the next weeks, the verification unfolded like clockwork. Auctions in Geneva, bids climbing. The total hit $208 million, clean after taxes. Jack didn't hoard it. Half-funded the mansion's restoration, turning it into a veteran retreat. Quiet rooms for men like him, rebuilding lives without fanfare. The rest? Invested wisely. Scholarships for underprivileged kids in the old neighborhood. No plaques, no glory, just results. His cousins sued, of course. Frivolous claims, dismissed in months. Their greed cracked them. Mark's business tanked under scrutiny. Lisa's licenses suspended. Ray retreated to a smaller life. Bitterness his only inheritance. Jack stood on the restored portico one dawn, coffee steaming, watching the horizon lighten. The vault's echo lingered, a reminder. True value wasn't gold. It was holding ground when laughter turned to snarls. He'd won. Not with fists or fury, with patience, proof, the seal way. If this tale of hidden fortunes and family fire kept you hooked till, hit that like button. Subscribe for more cinematic twists, share with a friend who'd fight for theirs, and comment below. Would you stand alone against family for 200 million? Drop your city too, we're building a global crew. As the sun crested, Jack turned back inside. The mansion breathed anew. His legacy, forged in resolve, stood unbreakable.